I messed up. Simple as that. Welcome back to another episode of Becoming a TechnoWizard. And today you will see my failure. Yet another failure. Or at least another way not to succeed. What's the quote? Um, what was the quote? It's not a thousand ways to fail. Well, I don't know. Whatever. Point is I messed up, you know, and I'm just gonna have to push through it here and then just do a complete remapping of everything later. So as you may know, I've been working on my website for the past few weeks, and I wanted to express something different. I wanted to create a website that exposed and showcased my weird mind, or I guess you could say my creative mindset, my creative ideas and whatnot. Um, and I thought I brought it down to a level that was practical, that was both usable as well as technically feasible. That was I could implement online or through the tools that I had, but I was wrong. um, or rather, it's gonna take me a lot longer than I thought it was. So I initially tried to do it on Webflow. Webflow is a pretty cool site, and I tested out different designs and different effects on Webflow. I knew it was possible to do what I wanted to do. But when I started putting down my first homepage site, I realized it was much harder. There was something I wasn't understanding about how to use Webflow, and I didn't have the time. Still don't have the time to learn it. I got to finish this by tomorrow, or I won't graduate in this phase. I will have to redo the last 2 months, and there'll be no point in redoing the last 2 months because this is the only part that I have trouble with is my website. Everything else from this phase is I understand, so there'll be no value in redoing this phase. Um, I can always, work on my website some more after this anyway. So, but yeah, it wasn't working on Webflow, so I went to do it on Wix. And I chose Wix because I did some research on other sites to use to see what I can do. But and they were the only ones that really allow you to, number one, do a lot on the free plan because I just don't have the money right now to go ahead and purchase a full plan. Especially because I'm not even sure, I fully expect to go back to Webflow, once I give myself enough time to really learn how to use it. So there's no point in me finding another tool I would have to pay for, and it's not even worth it. Um, but yeah, with Wix, they actually have a really good editor, right? Really good drag and drop editor. So I was able to put things exactly where I want it to be once I figured out the little quirks Webflow has. But unfortunately, what I'm seeing now is that Webflow is super slow. Like it starts slowing down for no reason. Doesn't matter if I optimize and compress my images. Doesn't matter if I use like a small amount of animations as possible. Like just using the Webflow, I mean the Wix site is slow. And I did research. Like when I did research, yeah, it used to be slow, but a lot of the reviews, a lot of the stuff was saying that, oh yeah, Webflow, I mean Wix is fast, Wix is fast. So I don't know, maybe it's my internet, maybe it's my computer because I don't have very good RAM on this computer. It's very, very kind of old. Um, and or maybe it's just I didn't buy the full plan because I know they have ads on there, but I have an ad blocker, so I don't really see those ads. So maybe there's something going on with that, but I don't know. It's really slow, and it's taking me even longer to finish the site. And not only that, but I have to redo everything because on Wix it's limited. Like I tested out my interactions on Webflow, I knew it would work. I just have to learn how to do it right. But on Wix, it's just not possible to do what I want to do. It's limited in that way. Um, so that's unfortunate because now I have to the design I tested to see, hey, this is usable. This is a clear design. When transferred to what I could do at Wix, it wasn't working as well. So I have to rethink my entire website in a way. And now it's just ugly. But I'm gonna have to push through anyways. I need to, finish this tomorrow, and then I can redo everything, later. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I got. But yeah, I'm very disappointed with myself. But we'll talk about that later. So here we go on Wix. So I got, the web page down, right? Like this is working. This is a practically live site. Um, hover over it, and the images show up. I had to change it because it wasn't looking right on a live site. Like I realized my frame, the artboard I was using on Figma was like 1440. It was a really big, screen. This is like 900, and I could increase the screen, but I realized that maybe that's for the best, because I don't know what screens people have, and this is not responsive. I did not design this to be responsive, and that's because I wanted to design. I think I spoke that in the other videos, but I wanted to design a completely different layout for um, each format. So tablet would have a different one, mobile would have a different one. That's why this is not meant to be responsive. It still can be. Like there's some this can be stretched and not really squashed anymore, but 900 pixel screen is probably one of the smallest desktop screens, probably, I think. So most people have, I would hope, larger, like 1200 into 1100 or something like that, around that range. Maybe go up to 1400 for larger screens. So hopefully this will look better on most people's screens. But anyways, yeah. So you see this interaction? Look at that. Not that snappy. And this is real slow in the editor. Anyways, yeah. So this is what I started working on before, and the buttons work too, but this is what the buttons look like. I do a little animation there. But yeah, so I was able to kind of accomplish, sort of what I wanted to accomplish here, right? You got the projector, and it was like, ooh, yeah. Got this going on here. All those working. But this part right here, right? So number one, I had to turn this into a slideshow. So instead of showing, that 3D carousel where you see that there's something in the back for you to, check out, I don't have that here. So what tells people, that there's important information? It's not critical or anything like that, but it's good information to know, right? What tells people that is that back there? Nothing. Um, and then it's kind of difficult to lay this out because some of them will be larger. Um, so yeah, it's kind of annoying that way. But yeah, if you go on to the next page, you see this problem even more because now I have a lot more information that I want to say after this point, right? So I put this here to let people know that they can hit the slide, um, or hit one of these buttons to go to the next slides, um, and that's problematic because this is just not pretty, right? This is not a good way to put this here. Maybe I could put it back in here like I did in my later sites, but I don't know. Maybe I could put it on the side, but that just wouldn't. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't look right either. So going through this made me really realize, not even realize, but maybe even more worried that maybe I'm not cut out to be a designer, right? And I know that's insecurity speaking, but sheesh, man, like stuff like this. Like I know my website is ugly, but I don't know why. I don't know how to fix it. I just feel like, a lot of things are like, oh, you became a designer because you had taste. I don't have taste, you know? I went back. I didn't connect all of those together. Like I feel like I don't have taste. I feel like I'm creative and I'm empathetic. Like I think about users, I think about customers, the humans. I think about needs and problems and stuff like that. That's why I went into UX because I can work with facts. I can work with perceptions. I can work with understanding people and what they want, right? Or rather, what they don't want, what pain points they have, and doing my best to solve those pain points. But the visual design side is a whole other factor for me, because it goes beyond just being able to um, show people. It goes beyond just no the user experience. You have to figure out. It's just so frustrating. Like I think this is readable, right? It's usable. You understand what's going on with the page, but whether it's me being different um or whatever, it's just it's okay, but it's not great, right? So how am I going to stand out as an applicant if I can't even get my own website, to be visually appealing? So that's what makes it like super frustrating. And it's even worse because when I, start making this work as a regular type of page, and I only took out the background picture because I thought that would increase the loading speed. It didn't. So I might put it back. But anyways, so you see, it's still, I might have to change that to the other way. I mean, it's decent, but so I know vertically scrolling rather than doing the page by page helps with scanning. So people like hiring managers, they want to come quickly to your page and see all the visuals. They want to see what's going on with your page, right? And you can do that here, which you couldn't do here. I don't know why I changed this picture last night. See, you see, man, Wix. Never again, Wix. Y'all done messed up. And it's unfortunate because Wix has a really cool editor. The fact that you can drag and drop is really awesome. It's really accessible, but and they have a lot of really cool features, like a lot of really cool components and elements that can make your site very unique. But they have all these rich interactions, right? That they advertise and they want you to use. This everything, like I'll show you in a bit. They have a lot of really cool interactions and elements. You're like, oh, check this out. This will make your page stand out, right? But if your page is going to be slow, why? What's the point? So yeah, I mean, my page is decent with this format. I don't think I did the rest. No, it's decent with this format, but you know, like this. Check out the specifics in the following slides. It's a little bit better than putting it off the way, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know why I changed this text to black. Like it was white before. So yeah, I'm gonna add the rest in here and just get it working like this and call it a day. But doing this made me really question myself, like like what I'm gonna do, man. And I know that's not good to do, but I like to be real in these videos. That's what it is. I still love design, or rather, user experience design, because I think that plays a lot into my strengths. That plays a lot into, what I enjoy doing. But things just do not click for me, as a visual, on the visual perspective. Um, and I know this isn't good. I tested it sort of. Like nobody likes it. My instructor, from the get go, he was like, you should probably do something more traditional. Um, my girlfriend, she was like being very supportive, like, oh yeah, I like how you're doing something different, but she doesn't understand it. I'm like, if people don't understand it, then what's the point? You know? Um, and my target audience, I'm hoping they will understand. It's like I want to attract people who are doing something different, and they're design agencies, um, who are, going out of the box and all that stuff like that, not afraid to step out of the traditional confines of design. Um, so hopefully this is still attractive to them, but uh, it's very frustrating because the information is itself is good. I had people look at my peers, my instructors, and all that, look at the actual information. I was like, oh, this is really well written and everything like that. Um, tells much of the information, tells people what I'm good at, right? When you read this, you understand. I'm more user researcher. It's unfortunate. I do want to be a product designer, but maybe not because this is not working for me. And I'm worried because they say you can learn visual design, but I've been looking at it, on and off during this entire course. Whenever I thought I designed something good, somebody else designed something and it's even better. I'm like, oh, what, right? Or I thought I designed something good and I tested it and it's like, it's all right. I know it's not terrible. Like there is, or maybe that's it. Maybe it's as they say as a junior designer, you know, you have this gap between where your vision is and where your skills are. Um, and unfortunately, that's very apparent on my website. Which is not good because if I want to get a job, I want to get make this a career. I can't make that gap so obvious, right? Who's gonna hire me if they see that, you know, oh, he has potential, but he doesn't have the skills. And it seems like nobody wants to uh be that first job, right? Nobody wants to be like, oh, I'll give him a chance, which is really sucky, you know, because I know I can provide value. I do know that. Like as insecure as I might be about my visual design, my user interface ability, I know that I understand people. I understand how to talk to people, how to interact with people, how to uh, extract um, real feedback from people. You know, how to do that user research. I understand the strategy. I understand the science, the techniques. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like expert level or anything like that, but I know I can do I can do a pretty good job at that. And I've done, a lot of pretty cool stuff in my career so far, even though it's been like a untraditional path. It's been after obstacle after obstacle, failure after failure, but I learned. I've provided results. So as frustrated as I am with this, this is not where I'm stopping. Definitely not. I just want to express that frustration, because it's not good to keep it inside. That's the problem I've had before. It's okay to be, feel insecure at some points, but you can't, if you internalize it, that's what, stops you from growing. And I don't want to internalize this. I know I'm sucky right now, but I know I can be really, really awesome. For instance, all right, let me show you my other ideas that I had. Open Figma back up. Um, it's probably gonna be years in the making, but whenever I come back to making my portfolio site, I'm going to try out these other ones. While that loads, let me show my Notion first. I wanted to, build these out a little bit more before I showed it out, but it's whatever. Here we go. Let me share my whole screen, whatever. Okay, so I'm testing out different things. Like I'm just gonna throw these case studies and stuff on the side because again, I want an easy way for people to be able to access to other parts of the site without a typical navigation. Because the purpose of this navigation, top navigation, is to make it easy to go through the case study. If I have another navigation to go throughout the rest of the page, I don't really see a use in that, right? Like you want an easy way for people to get back to the other case studies, get to your home, and all that. But typical menu, it's kind of hard to do when you already have a menu for your case study itself. Um, that's why I'm worried about that. But with and another reason because on Wix you're limited. You can only have like one menu. You can't have like if I have a main menu, I can set it to like stick, right? But if I have another one, just for the case study, and I want that to stick instead, I can't do both, and I can't do like I can't have like this, the case study menu to stick, and then the other menus disappear as you scroll up. So it'll only be one menu throughout the rest of the case study. You scroll all the way back up to go to the regular menu. I can't do that, which would be better. But I put these on the side. I know it's weird, but it'll function for now. I'm gonna redo this whole thing anyways. But I had this really interesting idea. Um, like, what if your website was like an MMO interface? So you'd have your chat, so you can chat directly with me. You can have your quest log, which would be all the case studies. So the active one, which is uh, like for instance, if you're going through the quell case study, then that's the active one, and the other ones are inactive, and you can activate them to go there. And then your map this is your navigation, this is your menu. So say, hey, you're here, and when you go to the next one, it'll move your icon here, 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 so far, such as that. And then these skills, like this hotbar of skills, you have an icon for each one. Maybe when you hover over it, it'll say, go home. It'll say, it'll give you some details about what it does. But go home, email. It'll be self-explanatory, I think, anyways. But these are your skills. You can activate these to interact with me, basically, interact with my site. And then in the middle would be like the case study. It will be a 3D environment. Um, so I do want to see if I can build it out because I think it'll be just really interesting, fun to see. So, and I know it is possible, but I'm just gonna have to code my site. Like I'm tired of all these freaking tools that limit you more often than not. Like I might as well just code it. I didn't want to code it at first because I didn't want to like give people the impression that I'm a designer that codes. I'm not that great of a coder. I don't enjoy coding, but it's to the point where I have all these ideas and it's not really possible, or at least not easily very feasible, with these other tools. Um, I'm really thinking about how to do this too. Like I built a 3D environment in A-frame. It's not hard. Um, I built, user interfaces or something similar to this, you know. So that part is not difficult. The problem is for me with coding is making things interactive using JavaScript, right? I don't understand why, but it's just again that part doesn't click with me. Making like interactive things, so I have to practice that, especially in A-frame because it does a little bit differently. And then when you oh yeah, this part about me, it goes to like my level, and it has like like this, you know, my character in the middle, and it has like my skills that I'm equipping basically. I just think it'll be really fun and goes back into me is very usable I think as well, and that'll be cool to do. And then I had another idea where it would be like a completely typographic type of website. So it'd be like I'm gonna be real with you, right? I'm not great at UI design, and they'll have like a little explanation saying what I'm not good at in UI design, but I'm exceptional at best part, making highly usable something highly usable, something visually striking. 'Cause I think my webpage is visually striking. You're gonna remember it. Maybe not for the good, but you're gonna remember it. Get those creative. I know it's not terrible. Like it's not. When I say ugly, I mean it's not like polished. It's not what you expect from like an expert at visual design. But it's not like unreadable. Like it's not ugly by the means of, oh, I don't know what's going on here, and this doesn't make sense. It has some logic to it, but yeah. Anyways, I think that would be interesting because I'm not good at typography. I'm not good at UI, so pushing myself to do something like that will be very interesting. So I would just point out like my growth areas, and hey, I'm not good at this, but I'm great at this. So I think that would be really cool, interesting site. And another one I had was um, I'm not sure if this is actual site, but just creating like design principles around what I learned about design working in VR. So I would talk about, hey, in VR is super important to have a really good context, in your environment. And then I would create things in my site, around that idea. Same thing for focus content, interactivity, so on and so forth. Um, I think that would just be interesting. Again, it speaks to my brand. It speaks to what I'm interested in working on. It speaks to my experience. So I think that's some interesting stuff. Like things like this, I know when it comes to the actual experience, I can think about that stuff. My problem is dealing with this. I know it's problematic because as a designer, you experienced designer especially, you still need to think about technical feasibilities and stuff like that. So I need to get better with that. But yeah, that's me so far. That's another thing. I don't know if these will work now because I'm gonna have to pay anchors. So they have like, might as well go ahead and show you before I leave out of here. So you can add, and this is all the stuff they have, right? So your text, your images, buttons. This is what I mean. Like they have very few like normal buttons. Goes to all this other stuff, interactive stuff, right? And then it gets real crazy when you start going to these other elements. Got your galleries. And look at this. It's not even an accordion. I don't know why they call this an accordion. I try to use this. This is bullcrap. Like it doesn't expand out. Or maybe I was doing it wrong. I don't know. Like I saw this on their website. Like I went to the career page. I was like, oh, maybe it might be interesting work here. But that's when I realized it's not just me. Because I went to the career page. They have this effect, and it took like a minute to load. Like it wasn't working. I scrolled down, it was just white. It's just not loading. I had to like scroll back up, wait a couple seconds, and scroll back down for it to be there, and it still wasn't. Like I realized it's not just me. It's this site. I should have did more research. But even so, like there is not really many other web website creators, right, that are drag and drop. There's a lot of websites. There's a lot of almost every single website. This is really cool. I was like, this is dope, and this too. Like you can actually move these around live. This is, oh my gosh. I love 3D stuff and interactive stuff. But yeah, like there's a lot of these website builders that only really that appeal to just traditional website building. Like A-Frame is, and I think there's Janus VR. No, that one got shut off. There's another one, Neo. But yeah, there's a handful, maybe like one or two other website things that allow you to make 3D stuff, right? And none of them allow you to make 3D websites. And I think that's very unfortunate because we live in an age like where that stuff is possible. Like if you see I'm using like a lot, sorry, but if you see a lot of these A-frame examples, a lot of them are really snappy, right? They work very well on a lot of browsers because a lot of browsers now support them. You know, WebGL, um, what other to like 3JS and all this other stuff. You know, that's a huge cicada. Um, but yeah, this is very supported now. It's very highly supported. It works on mobile too. That's what people don't realize. A lot of these 3JS, 3D A-frame type of stuff, it works on mobile really well. Like I show people my website all the time. Like, hey, look how cool this is, right? Um, but it's mostly code, and that is difficult for people like me. This is why I want to come up with Fluffy, man. Like every time I want to create something online that's different, realize the need for something like that. But yeah, this is annoying. You have all these rich stuff. Like half of these are videos too. Like I don't even realize that. Like not even just this, but there's other ones that I didn't realize was a video. I started using it. I was like, oh, this is wow. You wonder why your site is so slow? Is it here? Yeah, like this. This is a video. This right here is a video. I loaded it up and I was like, because I was gonna replace it with the picture, and it started playing. I was like, whoa, what? So I'm like, why do they have all these elements if it makes your stuff so slow? Like, what's the point? But anyway, I'm gonna call it a day on that. Let me get back to building this out. So they say if you're not ashamed by your first version, you didn't launch early enough. And I'm definitely ashamed. Hopefully, this doesn't preclude me from getting job opportunities. But more hopefully, or rather, regardless of what this looks like, I'm gonna redo this whole thing. Probably not next week because I need to take a break. So next week, expect to do a lot more videos where I'm just gonna be reading stuff. My friend let me borrow his copy of Design of Everyday Things, so I'll be reading through that. Um, I think I'm gonna read through Octalus's framework again. Um, actionable gamification. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing that next week, and give myself a break from design for a little bit, at least from physically designing my website. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, as always, and have a good day. Bye bye.